Hi everyone! I'd like to say Merry Christmas to everyone who has subscribed to my channel, and I hope you all are having a really fun Christmas. I would like to say one thing real quick to all my subscribers. Thank you guys very much for subscribing and watching my videos and having interest in them as well. I really appreciate you guys, and I hope that as time goes on that I can do more and more videos, and that I can continue to put out some more really cool unique pieces of content. So yeah, anyway, for this Christmas special, I'd like to review a streetlight that I recently just got for Christmas, and I really like it. It's a streetlight that has been a streetlight that I've known for a really long time, and I really want to review it with all you guys. So yeah, let's go ahead and go up to my room and look at that. Alright, here we are. So this is my streetlight I had just recently got for Christmas, and I want to share it with you guys, as the streetlight is a very meaningful streetlight to me. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So right here, this is my Lime Materials Unistyle 400 split door 400 watts Mercury vapor. I don't really know too much history on this fixture, other than the fact that it was made during Lime Materials Unistyle series of lights. Lime Materials was a company that made streetlights from, I believe, the mid-60s into the 70s, and for some reason they had made this split door version. The lights that are pretty familiar to most people are the Unistyle 250, which is sometimes mistakenly called the Unistyle 175, but that's not true. The Unistyle 400 and the Unistyle 1000. But for some reason, Lime Materials decided to make a split door version of their light. And I don't know what the purpose of that was for, but it's not like a power door fixture or anything. The ballasting components are actually mounted to the fixture. I think it was kind of just built that way so that there wasn't really too much stuff to take apart on this fixture and make it a little bit more easy to work with. Whether that's true or not, I do have this light now in my possession. This light is really cool, and definitely a light that I have seen since I was a kid. This street light used to be in Coldwater, Michigan, where I grew up, and Coldwater, Michigan was full of Lime Materials Unistyle 400s and 250s. Coldwater is its own municipal. It owns its own utilities, street lighting, power lines. And it was really cool. They were just all over town. They were on most of the main roads. It was pretty common to see a Unistyle 250 or a 400 while traveling around the town of Coldwater. And they also had on their side streets Lime Materials bucket lights as well. But all these lights were Mercury vapor, and I remember when I was little, when we drive around town at night, how beautiful they were, and they all worked, and they were super cool. I don't know what the voltages or inputs were on the lights, but I'm assuming they were probably all 120, 240 stuff. But unfortunately, as time has gone on, the city of Coldwater has replaced all their stuff with LED. They actually did this back in 2012. The city of Coldwater replaced all their Unistyle stuff, anything Mercury vapor or HPS, everything owned by their utility, whether it was a customer-owned light or an actual street light. It was replaced with Leotech LEDs. Every single light was gone, except for this one. This one was located in a parking lot. It was on a standard union style pole. It was an aluminum pole, and there were actually 3 of them in that parking lot, and they were also owned by the city of Coldwater. But the other 2 weren't these split doors. They were actually standard Unistyle 400s. And those 2 were replaced with American Electric Autobans, but this one wasn't. Now, I don't know why they didn't replace this fixture. This fixture here, when I had gotten it down, it wasn't even working or anything. It had just been disconnected at the pole. The wires were cut, so the light had never been on, probably for 10 or so more years. So it's crazy that they left it behind, but I contacted someone at Coldwater and they were nice enough to come out and look at it for me, and I told them I'm a collector, you know, I'd like to see it saved. And they were like, oh yeah, we need to put an LED fixture up there. That's something we must have missed. So they were nice enough to come by while I was there, grab it down for me, and they put an LED fixture back up in its place. But yeah, I went ahead and brought it home with me for Christmas, and I was really happy to to get this light in my collection, as I have grown up seeing this light for a really long time. So it's really cool to have a light from my hometown. But yeah, really awesome story. Other than that, this light is not as cool as I really thought it was, though. There are some things that I am a little disappointed in, but not really too disappointed in, as I've worked those kinks out and made it a little bit better. But this light is still really cool, and I will definitely hold on to this light for a really long time. Anyway, this light is really cool, and apparently, according to collectors, these split-door Unistyles are pretty rare. They are very commonly found, at least from some people I've spoken to, with no ballasting in them. These were used, I guess, as remote ballasted fixtures, but some of these were also made to have internal components as well to run. And this one did have internal components added at one time, but sometime back in the 70s, all the components had been swapped out, and I don't know why, but I guess back then the components had failed, and you know, the fixture they just had to replace it, so it doesn't have the original components in it. I will say the glass does have some damage. It has been shot up, and it's a shame because this glass right here is the deep glass. And yes, Lime Materials for their Unistyle, actually they copied GE. They made a deep glass and a shallow glass. They are very commonly found with shallow glass, but this one happens to have the deep glass. And I know where I can find some of this deep glass, so I will grab it in the future. But for now, I'm going to leave this lens on it, as I haven't really gotten into restoring it yet or really doing much with it other than having it fixed up and ready for this video. So I know you guys have been waiting all video long for me to get into this street light, so I'm going to go ahead and stop talking about all that nonsense and start talking about this really cool fixture. So yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and pan the camera up here as we get closer to our beautiful Christmas lights here. And we can just kind of get an overall look at it. This fixture is very, very strange. The shape, it's definitely a Lime Materials feel and shape, but it's a weird shape. It's very long. It almost looks like a snake, or like a gummy bear or a gummy worm. It's very interesting, and I'll flip it on its side here. It is quite a long fixture too, compared to the Unistyles. Unfortunately, I don't have a regular Unistyle 400 to show you guys, so to do a comparison, but yeah, it is very interesting. It's very long, and yeah, it looks like a weird gummy worm or caterpillar thing. It's interesting, but I like it. It's cool. This doesn't have a photocell, and unfortunately, unlike the other Unistyles, these don't come with a base so I can add one. So unfortunately, this light will have to stay non-photocelled forever. But these were available with photocells if you know, the municipals or power companies wanted them. So yeah. It does have that tank design still on top, as you can see these nice stepped up details here. It is definitely like a tank still. Lime Materials streetlights are known to be extremely high quality, very thick, very tank-like looking streetlights. I don't know why they made them look like this, but they're super good. There really is nothing wrong, actually, with this street light in general, other than maybe a couple minor things. But this street light is really high quality. The metal is very, very thick. Yeah, and these lights were never painted, so it's kind of interesting. These lights were anodized, but they never put any paint jobs on them. They always left them as at their anodized finished look. So it's really cool to I guess see how that's looked over time. It's not corroded. It has some discoloring, but yeah, it's in really good shape. I won't repaint this or do anything with this when I go to restore it. I'm gonna try to polish and shine the metal back to what it was so that it'll look original. But for now, as of this video, it's going to look like this. But really long, really interesting light. You can see up here there's like a plus detail. I assume this is for leveling. Pretty nice. And yeah, the glass on this thing, which I will take the glass out, we can look at it a little bit closer. This glass lens is absolutely beautiful. These deep line materials glass lenses are very unique, and they have a lot more little details, especially on the bottom. You can see the front here has all the big details, but when you get to the bottom, just all these little prismatic details. Super, super detailed lens and very, very high quality glass, which we'll take a better look at that when I open up the Fixture. But yeah, really cool. So let me go ahead and lay it back on its back, and I'll open this thing up and show you guys the insides. Okay, so to open this light up here, there's a little tab on the front here. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll position it this way a little bit. This little tab here, you just gotta press that down, and it's a little hard from the floor, but you press that down, and usually your light will lift right up, and there we go. I did it. And that lifts it right out. And kind of like some of the step door style lights that GE made, and like the Westinghouse OB25 first gen. This Fixture, this door here just kind of unclips itself. There's a little tab. There's a little tab on the front here, and I'll show it to you. You just pull up, and then you can actually push it forward. It might be a little bit sticky, but you push it forward, and it comes right off. So, really cool. This thing is kind of like the first gen Westinghouse in a sense. And then your door here, to get this door off, you can see these two holes right here. There's flathead screws, so to get that out, you need a flathead screwdriver. And then all you gotta do is undo those two screws, and then the door will be disconnected from the body. So I'm gonna do these screws real fast. It's a little sticky. These screws down here are a little bit stripped. I think someone had tried messing with this at one time, and they kind of just screwed the screws up a little bit, so I'm probably going to have to replace those. But yeah, I'll fix that reflector. It's a little wonky. I'll show you in a minute why. I think that's it, yep. So once those screws are undone, the door usually would come back like this, but there's really no clips holding it on, so you can just take it right off. And yeah, we are now inside the Fixture. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at this door. So this is going to be a little bit hard to show you guys because I actually cannot take the glass out of this door. And the reason why is these screws here, which I can get them out eventually in the future, but these screws here that hold all these tabs are all stripped and they're stuck. So I cannot unscrew the glass from this, but that's totally fine. We'll still be able to look at it perfectly fine. As for this door piece, I mean, I love this thing. There's really a lot going on here, other than some minor issues with the screws. But, mentioning the screws, all your hinge clips here, they're all screwed on. So if I needed to take these off and really clean everything, I can. Most of these types of details and parts would be riveted in, so you would never be able to get them out unless you drill them out. So all those parts can come easily off with a simple Phillips head screwdriver. So it's really cool. And there's that tab I was showing you. You just gotta lift that up, and then this will slide down and out. So yeah, really nice. Now I mentioned that these screws here were all stripped out, but to get them out, which is not really a big problem, all you got to do is go on the other side here, this hole right here, and these, if I can get it in frame, it's a really big door, so just so you guys know, you can kind of see them up here. Those holes there, that's actually where the screws are going in from the inside, so all that you got to do is just put a drill in there that's the right size and drill them out and just retap the holes. So those won't be a problem to replace or fix, so no need to worry on that. here's that button style hinge that I had shown you when I opened it up. You just press that up, and yeah, it just kind of goes back. There's a spring hidden inside here, and it's this button. I love this thing too. This is also really high quality. It's one entire piece of cast aluminum, and it's very, very thick. So I really like that a lot. Really nice, and it's cool as well to see that's also flush, as you can see, with the door. That really makes it look good. So really impressed. Let's see, this screw up here. There is a random screw on the front here. You can see that screw. It goes in. I don't know why, but you can see the thread right there. That's the screw. It just goes in on the other side. I don't know why that's like that, but yeah, that's there. Of course, the glass. We definitely got to take a look at the glass. Like I said, it is unfortunately shot up. You can see those 3 bullet holes. Ooh, that's not good. I can actually pull that piece off. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be gentle with this glass, as it's really beautiful. But I'm going to go ahead and kind of see if I can get it to sit, because I want to take the camera and try to pan it the best I can. So let me go ahead and lift up the camera so we can get a really good view of the glass. Like I said, this glass is amazing. It's very detailed, it's very high quality, it's very clean and crisp in mold. It is perfect glass, other than these blemishes. It is perfect glass. I give this a 10 out of 10. It is very thick as well. It's heavy. It's heavy piece of glass as well. There's some markings here on the inside. I'll go ahead and show you. There really isn't much on the rims other than that over there, but when you go to the front here, you can see it says Hall of Fame, patent pending. And it doesn't say lime materials anywhere on the rim on the inside, unfortunately. Now, I don't know why that is, but it's not really a big deal, because when you go out to the front here, there's some more really nice details. Again, you can really see the detailed bead patterning. And one thing I want to mention too, about the feel of this, like I said, this glass feels really high quality and thick, but when you touch it, there's just, it's almost like touching like a picture book when, where they have the little material over it that you can touch so it feels like a real picture. It has that texture. It's just, you can feel every single detail. Like, even these details, even though this is technically kind of inside the mold, you can feel it. There's so much nice texture on it. It's, and especially like right here, like there's a nice wiggly texture to it, and you can hear that noise as I'm scraping over. Even on the back as well, there's so much detail in this glass. Lime materials like went way overboard with making this high quality. Not that that's a bad thing, but this glass is impressive. It's just impressive glass. I've seen the shallow glass that Lime Materials made, and it really just does not compare to this deep glass. These deep glass lenses are extremely detailed, extremely high quality, and they are just very pleasing to the eye. They're just amazing. If anyone ever sees any of these getting thrown away with this glass, or the glass itself getting thrown away, please pick up this glass, because this glass is just, it's too damn good to throw away. I just want to get that my point across as to how good the glass is in these Lime Materials fixtures. This glass is awesome, and despite it being broke, I could care less about the blemishes right now. It's just too nice for me to hate on it. It really is a beautiful piece of glass. So again, I just, you know, if anyone ever sees any of these being tossed, please save the glass. But let's go ahead. I'm not going to go too overboard as well, like they did with the glass. But you can see it says Hall of Fame, and actually you can see their little rights detail. And then a little number. I have no idea what that means. But yep, Hall of Fame. Now, it's a little weird to not see the fancy Hall of Fame logo, because if we go over here to my Unistyle 1000 here, you can see that it has that really fancy Hall of Fame logo on it. So it's a little strange they didn't decide to put that on there, but it's totally fine. The rest of the glass is just already too cool, so I'm not worried about that little detail. So pretty awesome. Let me go ahead and flip it around, and then we can look at the Line Materials logo. Again, the embossment of this logo is really clean, clear, and crisp, and it feels amazing when you touch it. Really, really awesome. Line Materials is... It's sad that Line Materials was such a short-lived company. They really made some very historically beautiful lights. And this Line Materials light really definitely shows what you can do when you have dedicated, interested people who want to make good shit. Because this is a fucking good light. So, excuse my language. But anyway, now that we've seen this, let me go ahead and grab the little door that I had taken off and show you that, because that's actually kind of cool too, but not as exciting as the glass. But yeah, here's the door. Unfortunately, this hinge on here is riveted in, but that's okay. That's not a big deal. This little cover here is extremely thick. Very, very thick piece of metal. Now, on the Westinghouse OB25 I had, where it had that little piece, door piece, it was just a really crappy thin piece of aluminum, but Line Materials said no, that they're not going to do that, and they made this crazy... I mean, this isn't even like this isn't even like a significant part of the door, or like the fixture itself, and this thing is like high quality. I mean, it's thick. Like, look at the thickness on this. It's so thick. I can't believe it's actually surprisingly a little heavy for what it's supposed to be. So it's super high quality. And the logo on here, this is amazing, this logo. Someone told me that this split door I have is a more rare version because of this detail. Apparently the detail on some of the other ones, it just has this and not this line. So I don't know why they did that, but yeah, really, really cool. It's super crisp and clean and mold. This casting is extremely high quality. And I like, too, where they actually put this little hole. So this hole here is a little drip point, you know, just in case you get some moisture or any rainwater inside it. And I like that they had put it in the correct orientation. Like, even little things like that, like, these are essential to have on streetlights in case moisture gets in them. But I like that they put it in the right spot, you know, in the correct orientation with the logo. It's just, they really did this street light the correct way, and I can't just, I don't know. I can't say any better than I already am how good their lights are, especially this. These screws are kind of crap, I would say, though, actually, since they're stripped, but that's not really that big of a deal. I can easily replace them, and they got little springs in there to help them stay in on the door. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead now and put this aside and push that over as well, and let's go ahead and look at this fixture. Alright, now like I said, this fixture did not have its original components in it, but this fixture is in very good condition still, and I'm very happy, despite it not having its original components, to still have it. Now when I got the street light, I went ahead and fixed up everything as nicely as I could. When I got this street light, this capacitor and transformer were in it. Now this is a 1970s Retrofit General Electric ballast. And it had a sticker on it, a blue aluminum sticker, but it had shredded up and fell apart. So unfortunately I don't have that now to show you guys. But it's a multi-tap ballast. It can do 120, 240, 208, and 277. So all those standard voltages. And it has a capacitor with it too. And this capacitor I think might be failed. It's a GE capacitor, but it's a little newer. This is like a newer 1970s ballast. I might have to replace that, but I went ahead and just put it back in for now, as it does still, for the most part, work. I say that because the bulb's a little dim. But yeah, this terminal block here was not also originally in here. I put that in there. I used some tap screws, and I tapped it into the space here. So yeah, at least it could have a terminal block. But even though it's not original, I'm still really happy with all that. But let me go ahead and just start with the basics here. You got your slip fitter bolts. It's just a standard slip fitter setup. Just you got two clamps here and some bolts that hold it down. Right here you got two screw holes. Those are where your screws go in for when you put your door on. And then moving up into the fixture, of course I just showed you just now, and I'll show you again, all the components. When I got this fixture, this capacitor was mounted right here, and it had a really crappy strap on it, so I took that out and mounted it correctly. I'm not sure if this was Line Materials' intentions for this fixture, but this aluminum paneling here, they have this like little guard and divider here, as you can see, and then this little piece of aluminum. There used to be a terminal block, I think, right here, because there's actually some other pilot screw holes in here. And I don't know if there was a capacitor in here or not, or if it would have been mounted here, but they got these divots here. And this capacitor sits perfectly in those divots. It sits really well. So what I decided to do to mount the capacitor in was to set it in like that, and I got a pipe strap, and it's just strapped in there really, really well. So it's really cool that I was able to do that. And I got all the wiring all nice and, you know, hold it back and stuff, so it's really, really cool. But yeah, of course, you got the terminal block. Like I said, I got all my wires going here. The transformer in here is mounted under this really, really unusual long mounting bracket, and this is definitely original. As you can see, they got those same style Unistyle Phillips head screws. It would have been really cool to see the original components in here. I'm guessing this fixture at one time probably had a 400 watt reactor ballast in it. Now I don't know how or why they would replace, or why that ballast would go bad, but I'm guessing they did because there was nothing else really. There really wasn't any other previous holes or anything here other than for the terminal block in the bottom of this fixture. So I think there probably was a reactor ballast in here at one time. So it's sad to see that's not there, but this transformer here, this GE transformer, is still really, really high quality, and I do like it. But yeah, I got all the wires, you know, bunched together. All the extra voltage wires I just have pushed down here for now. And I think, like my Westinghouse OB25, I think I got all the wires to look really good. Everything flows really nicely. There's no, you know, extra pieces of wires hanging out. There's not like a bunch of spaghetti hanging, I guess you could call it. You don't have like spaghetti wires. It's all nice, taped up, you know, routed wiring. So I'm really proud of this job. I feel like 400 watt fixtures have always been really I feel like 400 watt fixtures are always the easiest to retrofit because they're not too big and they're not too small. They're, you know, just the right size to, you know, properly compact everything in. But yeah, even though none of this is original to this light, I'm really happy that I was able to properly remount everything and re-retrofit all of this in here so that this can continue to run 400 watt Mercury lamps. So yeah, really cool. Now from all this to your fixture, you got these really, really tiny. I don't know why Line Materials did this, but these are original to this fixture. I've seen some other ones that were also like this. They use this really tiny gauged wire. I have no clue as to why they do that, but yeah, that's something they decided to do. Now for your fixture here, to adjust your socket, it has a very unusual socket, so I'm gonna pass on this for a second because there's also some stuff on the inside that relates to that end of things. But the reflector here, I'm gonna go ahead and take this lamp out. This lamp was in here. This is a 400 watt Mercury Sylvania lamp, a little bit of an older lamp. I'm gonna put that aside. To get your reflector out, it's a little strange. So there's a spring here on the front, and mine has come undone. Okay, so to get your reflector out here, it's a little unusual. So all you gotta do is, and mine's a little uneven right now, and I'll show you why, but you gotta get this tab kind of out from under this hook. It's really challenging to do this. I don't think they really wanted you to take these apart, but you can see there's some tabs sticking the other way. You got to get that out of there. So let me do that real quick. So with the power of video editing, I have now unattached the reflector from its little clip-on piece. So this reflector is really odd in how it's put in. So basically, there's supposed to be two springs, but there's one. The springs keep tension and push this out so that this will stay hooked on here. And I don't know why Line Materials did that, but they decided to do that. And sometimes this reflector is really hard to get off. There we go, especially with the amount of tension that those springs have. But I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. But yeah, you can see right here that spring. There was one here that went to here. They clip on to some little hooks and holes, as you can see. The other one, unfortunately, snapped because it was all rusted out. But this one, at least for the most part, is still intact. But you can see it's starting to stretch out. It's just rusted to the core. It needs to be replaced. They put these springs in here to push that out so it could stay hooked on here. And I don't know why they decided to do that. I don't think that was a bad idea, but it's very unusual when they could just make it clip in with a little bit of tension and a little bit of spring. But nonetheless, I guess that's okay. The only thing I really got to do is just replace the spring, and that'll be good. So you can see right here where that tab hangs onto. It's just some nice pieces of stainless steel metal that are screwed in with those Line Materials Phillips head screws they like using, and then this little piece is the clip where the hinge hangs onto. So yeah, really cool. Now I want to talk about the socket. So like I had just mentioned, you can see those really thin wires. They go into the front here. So this is the socket. It's this big chunky piece of metal. Not that this is bad or low quality or anything. It's really high quality, and it's so high quality to the point where I just say, why? Like, what decided to make this so high quality? This socket, I mean, I don't even understand this socket, light socket at all. They have all these really weird, unusual details and stuff, as you can see. It's just really strange. I don't know how you would position the socket up or down, left or right. Not saying that it can, but you know, I don't know if that's even an option. There's all these holes here. I'm assuming you could probably turn it or something, but it's strange. I've never seen anything like it. It's a very weird socket. If anyone knows what kind of socket this is, please let me know down in the comments below, because I've never seen anything like it. It's very different. And if we come to the back here, you can at least position it forward or back. All you gotta do is undo these little torque screws here. They basically are just screwed in to press down on these long bars that come out of the back of that. And to get your bulb to move forward or back, all you gotta do is slide them in or out. I have them currently on the inside position, as I feel like that is the best way to have the bulb center. So go ahead and screw those back down. But yeah, in a lot of my videos I've mentioned how I'm not really a huge fan of these, you know, adjustments or adjusting type light sockets, just because I really feel like, just because personally I feel like the light bulb should be fixed in one spot. I really don't think you're getting any different types of light distribution from it being an inch forward or back, but nonetheless, for a light socket, for a street light, this thing is really high quality. They have this huge, big, thick mount. I don't know why they have it, but it's crazy. And then they got this really complicated socket. So yeah, if anyone knows what kind of socket that is, I'd be interested in knowing and what its purpose is. But yeah, it's this part of the light is also extremely high quality. And again, I give kudos to Line Materials for doing such a good job, for going out of their way to take the effort, the time, and to use their knowledge to their advantage to make these fixtures as high quality as possible. So yeah. Another thing too is they have the little gasket here. So this is the gasket that basically just kind of seals the light socket to the reflector, and this thing is even this thing is really high quality. Like, I don't know what this is made of, but it's made of like a spongy material, and I think there's probably asbestos in it. It's kind of cool too because it's red. I like that it's red. It's kind of an interesting color choice, but it's like a spongy insulated material. It's really high quality, and yeah, it cleans very well too. This thing was pretty filthy when I got it, but I cleaned it and all the dirt just instantly rinsed out of it. It's just such professional, such good material. Really nice. So yeah, really the light socket here is like really crazy. I don't know why it's this high quality, but wow, really cool. I'm very impressed with that light socket. One thing to note too, actually, with this, if any of you guys ever get any of these, this is an exposed socket. As you can see, there's no ceramic covering it. So when this light's functioning, make sure you don't touch this neutral section because you will get shocked where any of these exposed terminals are. Not that anyone ever would, but yeah, just a little bit of a warning. But yeah, that really is beautiful. It's interesting to see that they have this really high quality socket and then they got these tiny wires coming out. I don't know why that is, but yeah. Maybe it just has to do with the cost. So now that we looked at that, let's go ahead and look at the reflector real quick. This reflector is really nice too. Of course, it's still the same kind of reflector as every other streetlight, just a pressed piece of aluminum. You can see on the front here the little tab that hangs on to the front there. Just a stainless steel piece of metal, and there's some rivets hiding under the gasket. You can see this reflector is extremely shiny. It's extremely clean. Has a very good mirror effect. You can kind of see me in the camera. Pretty cool. There's that opening for the light socket, and just overall, this thing is really nice. I will say the only thing I don't like on it is this gray gasket. Now, if you guys know me, I love either the felt gaskets or black gaskets. The black gaskets, they never go bad. They last a long time. They keep their flexibility, and they don't break down from the UV light. But these gray ones here that they put in, they are very notorious for drying out quickly, breaking and crumbling, and then powdering. For some reason, they get this powder, and it gets inside the reflectors. And what happens is when there's moisture, it'll kind of make that powder stick, and then it'll permanently fog these up. Now, this one hasn't done that. This gasket's in okay condition. I'm assuming this light was probably off for about 20 or 30 years in its time. So even before Coldwater, Michigan replaced all their street lighting, I'm guessing that this fixture was just off for a really long time, and no one just never really knew about it. So yeah, it's kind of nice to see that this is in good shape on the inside. So that'll look really good. It'll give a lot of clean, good clarity light, especially with that glass. So yeah, I can't wait to turn this on. But now that we've looked at that, let me go ahead and put all this back together so we can go ahead and watch this light warm up. And before I officially close up this light, I will show you guys again this lamp that I'm going to be running in it. This lamp was with this light when I got it. It's a little bit black. I think it's about towards the end of its life, maybe. But it's just a basic older style Sylvania bulb. And it is pretty clean too as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And we will run this with this fixture. Alrighty. Alright, so I got the Unistyle set up here. And I'm going to go ahead and shut just a couple lights off, but I'll go ahead and leave the flickering lights on. In the background, I will set them to a setting that is not so crazy. Let's see if I can set it to a fade setting like that. That's perfect. Just so we can have a nice, subtle movement of light. And as for the C9s, I'm going to go ahead and unplug them as well. So we have a little bit more of a dim look. And let me push that forward just a slight bit. There we go. Alright. I think I'm ready to go ahead now and plug in this light. So this is my Line Materials Unistyle 400 split door, 400 watts Mercury vapor in 1, 2, 3. Not too bad starting up. It's a decently quiet fixture, like pretty much every other 400 watt Mercury light I got. But a nice 400 watt sounding fixture nonetheless. Anyway, while the lights are doing their nice little flashing details, let's go ahead and watch this warm up. Alright, the straight light is now at full brightness. So let me go ahead and turn it on its side as usual, and I can show you guys how much light it's giving off. It's a little brighter than I actually thought it would be. You can see the overexposure and how my Christmas lights have basically just disappeared now. Really, really cool, really bright light. I'll go ahead and lay it on its back, and I can go ahead and show you guys. It's a little louder actually on its back, but not a big deal. It's pretty nice. Wow, look at the detail. Very, very beautiful. That Line Materials glass is absolutely amazing when this light is on. My camera is not doing this light justice at all. This glass in real life and in person is so much better than it would be if it was on video. So yeah, a lot of overexposure. As you can see, there's that back end. Really beautiful. You hear the sine wave of this thing. Whoa, 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 whoa. That might be a bad capacitor, like I mentioned. So yeah. Again, the glass is just absolutely beautiful. There's nothing better than this Line Materials glass. It's just absolutely beautiful. Anyway, let me go ahead now and position the camera here. You can see that lovely Line Materials lens logo thing, or whatever. Look at those details. Super, 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 super nice. They're very beautiful through the Mercury light. You can see it says Halophane on the back. It looks amazing against the Mercury light. And again, you can see that Mercury lamp in there. It's a very, very, very high quality, clean lens. So really happy with that. I don't know where that came from. It just cut my knee. So very, very awesome. You can see all these details under this Mercury light. This thing is so bright, you can barely see my Christmas lights here. They're just not bright at all compared to this Mercury vapor lamp. So yeah, really cool. This really is an awesome light, and I feel like these lights are pretty obscure. If anyone ever sees any of these, they need to try to save them. They're just too nice. Just way. Try to see if I can get a second in the frame there. Whoosh. Just way too nice. Wow. Really is a beautiful fixture. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and turn it off now. The capacitor in this fixture definitely does need to be replaced. You can hear it kind of making a noise as it's running, and that's the sine wave slowing down as the capacitor is not putting the correct amount of voltage. So I will work on doing that in the future, but yeah, go ahead, turn this on, turn all the C9 lights on, and unplug it. Whew. And there we go. Alright, well that was my Line Materials Unistyle 400 split door. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed reviewing this light. This is an amazing light and definitely a really wonderful present to have in my collection. So yeah, it's a very amazing. If anyone knows where any of these are still, I do recommend that people try to save them or at least keep an eye on them. Make sure they're not scrapped or anything, because these fixtures are really obscure and really weird. So yeah, please put a like down below if you guys enjoyed this video, as this will help my channel grow and for, of course, the YouTube algorithm in general. And if you guys know anything else about this light or any of its specs, please let me know down in the comments below, and feel free to tell me your thoughts on this light, as I'd be very interested in hearing what you guys think about this unusual light. But yeah, anyway, I wish you guys all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I will see you guys in 2022. Merry Christmas, everyone. Bye.